Welcome to LA Global Currents, where our team at LA Marine discuss the latest topical issues in the maritime industry.
Today we are here with Betul Pinarbasi, a Turkish lawyer from the law firm BB Partners. Betul is the founder of BB Partners. She graduated from the University Ozien in Turkey, and she has a master's degree in international commercial and maritime law from Swansea University. She specializes in maritime law, insurance, and commercial law. Betul will talk to us about ship arrest in Turkey. So, Betul, how easy is it to arrest a vessel in Turkey? Would you say that Turkey is a friendly jurisdiction for ship arrest?
Yes, I would say it's a friendly jurisdiction because, first of all, it has a very strategical location, and also the court, it's a provisional attachment, so court doesn't require evidences other than proving that it's a maritime claim and the value of the claim itself. So it's just primarily evidence that the court requires to obtain an arrest.
And what is the general framework and structure of the system?
In Turkey, the framework is actually based on the International Maritime Arrest Convention. So we can say that it is aligned with the global regulations as well. So under the Turkish commercial codes, it's regulated, but it's based on the global regulations.
What is the procedural process for obtaining a ship arrest in Turkey? And how quickly can a claimant realistically secure an order?
Okay, to arrest a vessel, first of all, you have to have a maritime claim, as I mentioned before. So it is regulated under Turkish Commercial Code, Article 1352, and it is actually listed with numbers. So if it's not a maritime claim, then you cannot do a ship arrest in Turkey. But if you have a maritime claim on your hand, then you have to put 10,000 SDR to the court, unless it is a seafarer cases, which is an exception for the general rule of 10,000 SDR security. And you also have to show the amount of the claim, approximate amount. So usually what we would say is that if you can prove that you have a maritime claim with a roughly number on your hand with the primary evidences, you can actually get an arrest order within a day or two. But I also have to tell that you would need a power of attorney for the lawyer that you are going to work with. So it's also required for court to give the order.
Which types of claims qualify for ship arrest under Turkish law?
It is regulated under the Turkish Commercial Code. As I mentioned before, it is the maritime claims. So it is actually very broad list, but it's numerous clauses. So it can be like a charter party dispute, towage, pilotage, pollution. Like it's a very broad list, but unless it's under the code regulated as the maritime claim, you cannot arrest the vessel.
How is jurisdiction determined for ship arrest? Can an arrest be prevented by having an arbitration clause or a foreign jurisdiction clause?
Okay, so if the vessel is breaking the transit and in Turkish inner waters, in Turkish jurisdiction, then the courts will give the arrest order notwithstanding the flag of the vessel. So if the vessel is in Turkey and it breaks the transit, then you will have the arrest order without looking to the flags. But if it's a Turkish flag vessel, then you don't even require the vessel to be in Turkish waters. You can get the arrest order from the ship registry. So it depends. But if the vessel is in Turkey, then for sure you can get an arrest order. And There is also another article under the Turkish Commercial Code which states that court will give the arrest order even if there is arbitration or a jurisdiction clause defined under the contract between the parties. So you can get the arrest order notwithstanding the flag or the jurisdiction clauses.
Can a vessel in stop transit through the Turkish Strait be arrested?
Yes, the vessels could be arrested only if they break the transit.
What are the legal requirements regarding the debtor connection with the vessel, and how does a sister ship arrest operate in Turkey? Is the claimant required to target the registered owner, or can an arrest be made when the debtor is a bareboat charterer or operator?
Under Turkish Commercial Code, it is important to distinguish between maritime claims and maritime liens when assessing the debtor's connection with the vessel. In general, an arrest based on maritime claims does not automatically attach to the vessel itself. In such cases, the legal connection between the debtor and the vessel is crucial. As a rule, the debtor must be the registered owner of the vessel at the time of the arrest. If ownership has changed, an arrest based solely on the maritime claim against the formal owner would not be possible. This is also relevant where the debtor is the bareboat charterer or the operator. Even if the debt arose during the charter period, an arrest based on maritime claims requires that the debtor be the owner of the vessel at the time of the arrest. By contrast, maritime liens constitute an exception to this rule. Maritime liens attached and follow the vessel irrespective of the ownership. An arrest may be therefore be effective even if the registered owner has changed. As regard to the sister ship arrest, this is expressly regulated under Turkish Commercial Code. A sister ship arrest is possible where the debtor is the owner of another vessel at the relevant time, subject to the statutory conditions set out in the code.
What options are available to shipowners to secure the release of the vessel once it has been arrested?
Okay, for the applicants, the party who wants to arrest the vessel, they have to put 10,000 SDR to the court. In return, when the ship owner wants to release the vessel, they can either object to the arrest order or they can put the security to court again. The security amount is around 15% more than the debt itself, and they can put the deposit as cash, bank guarantee, or letter of undertaking. But I have to warn, generally, courts has a very strict standards for wordings for bank guarantee, so it can actually prolong the process if you would prefer that option.
Do Turkish judges examine the merits of the underlying debt at the arrest stage, or must a separate action be filed to determine liability?
The merits of the claim is not evaluated under the arrest decision. It is, as I told before, it is a provisional attachment. So the merits of the claim, for evaluating the merits of the claim, the claimant, the party who obtained the arrest order, has to file the suit, a substantial case, and in that case, the merits of the claim will be evaluated by the court.
How does Turkish law approach wrongful arrest, and what potential risk does a claimant face?
The ship owner has to object to the arrest order within 7 days. So usually it is difficult to prove that it is a wrongful arrest because, as I mentioned before, they don't evaluate the merits of the claim. So you can, most of the time, you can claim that there is a procedural error, maybe with jurisdiction, maybe with ownership, maybe with time bars. So you can either claim this and object to the claim within 7 days, or you can, for releasing the vessel, you can put the deposit. But if you can actually manage to prove that it is a wrongful arrest, then the owner of the ship could sue for compensation. And also the 10,000 STR the claimant put it to court is actually the reason that they put the 10,000 STR to court is to compensate the ship owner. But most of the time, the damage is beyond 10,000 STR, which is like $15,000. So if the vessel stays for a couple of days, the ship owner has to also claim for compensation for the rest of the damage that they face.
So finally, what practical considerations should the clients keep in mind when planning a ship arrest in Turkey?
Okay, normally it can take for a day or two to obtain a ship arrest, but you have to be well organized to actually achieve it. You need to have your prima facie evidences. You have to have your power of attorney and 10,000 STR ready to serve everything to the court on time. So if you can achieve it, you can have the arrest order within a day or two. And as I mentioned before, for the bank guarantees, you have to always, in discussion with the judge who will actually approve the bank guarantee, to have the exact wording from them, because it's up to them to decide if they would accept it or not. So you have to be interactive with the judge. And other than that, yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you very much, Betul. That was very interesting.
Yes, thank you for inviting me here.